We continue the Abdullah Yusuf Ali translation of the Holy Quran with Suratul Fath, the victory. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, verily we have granted thee a manifest victory, that God may forgive thee thy faults of the past and those to follow, fulfill his favor to thee and guide thee on the straight way, and that God may help thee with powerful help. It is he who sent down tranquility into the hearts of the believers, that they may add faith to their faith. For to God belongs the forces of the heavens and the earth, and God is full of knowledge and wisdom, that he may admit the men and women who believe to gardens beneath which rivers flow, to dwell therein for aye, and to remove their ills from them, and that is in the sight of God the highest achievement, and that he may punish the hypocrites, men and women, and the polytheist men and women who imagine an evil opinion of God. On them is a round of evil, the wrath of God is on them. He has cursed them and got hell ready for them, and evil is it for a destination. So that's what they did with their opportunity. For to God belong the forces of the heavens and the earth, and God is full of power and full of wisdom. We have truly sent thee as a witness, as a bringer of glad tidings, and as a warner, in order that ye, humans, may believe in God and his messenger, that ye may assist and honor him and celebrate his praises morning and evening. Verily, those who plight their fealty to thee do no less than plight their fealty to God. The hand of God is over their hands. Then anyone who violates his oath does so to the harm of his own soul, and anyone who fulfills what he has covenanted with God, God will soon grant him a great reward. The desert Arabs lagged behind will who lagged behind will say to thee, we were engaged in looking after our flocks and herds and our families. Do thou then ask forgiveness for us. They say with their tongues what is not in their hearts. Say who then has any power at all on your behalf with God, if his will is to give you some loss, or to give you some profit, but God is well acquainted with all that ye do. Nay, ye thought that the messenger and the believers would never return to their families. This seemed pleasing in your hearts. Ye conceived an evil thought, for ye are a people lost in wickedness. And if any believe not in God and his messenger, we have prepared for those who reject God a blazing fire. To God belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. He forgives whom he wills, and he punishes whom he wills. But God is oft forgiving, most merciful. Those who lag behind will say, when ye are free to march and take booty in war, permit us to follow you. And they wish to change God's decree. Say, not thus will ye follow us. God has already declared this beforehand. Then they will say, but ye are jealous of us. Nay, but little do they understand such things. Say to the desert Arabs who lag behind, ye shall be summoned to fight against the people given to vehement war. Then shall ye fight, or they shall submit. And if ye show obedience, God will grant you a goodly reward. But if ye turn back as ye did before, he will punish you with a grievous penalty. No blame is there on the blind, nor is there blame on the lame, nor on one ill, if he joins not the war. But he that obeys God and his messenger, God will admit him to the gardens beneath which rivers flow, and he who turns back, God will punish him with a grievous penalty. God's good pleasure was on the believers when they swore fealty to thee under the tree. He knew what was in their hearts, and he sent down tranquility to them, and he rewarded them with a speedy victory, and many gains will they acquire besides. And God is exalted in power, full of wisdom. God has promised you many gains that ye shall acquire, and he has given you these beforehand, and he has restrained the hands of men from you, that it may be a sign for the believers, and that he may guide you to a straight path. And other gains there are, which are not within your power, but which God has compassed, and God has power over all things. If the unbelievers should fight you, they would certainly turn their backs. Then would they find neither protector nor helper. Such has been the law of God already in the past. No change wilt thou find in the law of God. And it is he who has restrained their hands from you, and your hands from them in the midst of Becca. After that, he gave you the victory over them, and God sees well all that ye do. And they are the ones who denied revelation and hindered you from the sacred mosque and sacrificial animals, detaining from reaching their place of sacrifice. Had there not been believing men and believing women whom ye did not know that ye were trampling down, and on whose account a crime would have accrued to you without your knowledge, God would have allowed you to force your way, but he held back your hands, that he may admit to his mercy whom he will. If they had been apart, we should certainly have punished the unbelievers among them with a grievous punishment, while the unbelievers got in their hearts heat and cant, the heat and cant of ignorance. God sent down his tranquility to his messenger and to the believers, and made them stick close to the command of self-restraint, and well were they entitled to it and worthy of it. And God is full of knowledge of all things. Truly did God fulfill the vision for his messenger. Ye shall enter the sacred mosque, if God wills, with minds secure, head shaven, hair cut short, and without fear, for he knew what ye knew not, and he granted besides this a speedy victory. It is he who has sent his messenger with guidance and the religion of truth to prevail over all religion, and enough is God for a witness. Muhammad is the messenger of God, and those who are with him are strong against unbelievers, but compassionate amongst each other, and thou wilt see them bow and prostrate themselves in prayer, seeking grace from God and his good pleasure. On their faces are their marks, being the traces of their prostration. This is their similitude in the Torah, and their similitude in the gospel is like a seed which sends forth its blade, then makes it strong, and then becomes thick and stands on its own stem, filling the sowers with wonder and delight. As a result, it fills the unbelievers with rage at them. God has promised them, those among them who believe and do righteous deeds, forgiveness and a great reward. And so, of course, we are referring to the original of the scriptures. We're not promoting certain things that the Jews and the Christians have included in their scriptures by this. The tranquility relates to the biblical term Shekinah, the angelic presence, even a particular angel itself, is sometimes what we see mentioned with that. Don't we also have reference to how well, there's reference amongst this in terms, in the commentary of this, about saying this in the morning. And certainly victory is an active thing to take part in. And one doesn't have to say this in the morning. It's certainly a practice for a lot of people that they say this chapter in the morning, or at least parts of it, like the parts regarding the oath. And of course, we have to be careful of what we want for others.